Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Hildebrand. In the last episode, we started the case about the Treaty Blade from the calling card from this phantom thief that we received. So we came over to meet the person who is taking possession of this Treaty Blade. And we got kind of detoured a little bit to locate a vase. That had us run into our buddy Greg, and we recovered the broken pieces of the vase, had Godbert Manderville, Hildebrand's father, repair it, and then augment it. And after that was done, we joined the decoy operation to try to flush out the thief who was going to try to steal the blade. But in that process, we discovered that it is in fact Greg, who was the duelist who is taking people's weapons. So we had a little bit of a fight with him. And then we delivered the Treaty Blade to our clients. Or so we thought. It turns out that the person we delivered the blade to was an imposter who has stolen the blade. So we received another calling card saying that this thief was going to steal a Maidens of Virtue. So we need to look into that case. So, that is what we're going to do. Alright, let's talk to Ellie and find out what we're doing. Ellie has put her skills as a reporter to good use. Ah, there you are. I've been doing some investigating of my own since last we parted. I believe I found our Lapis Maiden. The girl's name is Arabella, daughter of one of Master Gugurimu, a prominent member of the East Aldenar Trading Company. Her eyes and hair are a most exceptional shade of blue. Her beauty is the talk of the Sultanate. Yes, I believe we have had some run-ins with Gugurimu. Her purported beauty, I should say. You see, none have actually seen the girl in the flesh. Apparently her father is the overprotective sort. Some say that the maiden has never set foot outside of the family's well-guarded estate. But all this is about to change. Rumor has it that the girl is to be wed, and not just to anyone, mind you, to the heir of the Bruguiere Consortium. The formal announcement is set to be made at a commemorative feast to be jointly hosted by the two family businesses. The venue is Costa del Sol, where preparations are going on as we speak. Word on the street is that the bride-to-be will be making a rare public appearance. It is here the thief intends to strike. I couldn't be more certain of it. Piqued your interest, have I? My sources tell me that the bride's father is already in Costa del Sol overseeing the preparations. This is one scoop I'm not going to miss, and you're welcome to come along. And I'm sure Hildebrand will make his appearance as well. Alright, we're off to Costa del Sol. And where are we headed? Ah, right over here. Gugurimu. Is this the guy? Hold on. Or is it the different guy that I was thinking of? Yeah, it was Gegaruju that I was actually thinking of, not this other guy. Okay. Let's have a chat. You're not one of my associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. If you have no business here, be on your way at once. Beg pardon, good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. If we might have just a moment of... Ah, yes, that two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled phantom thief in his letter of challenge. If you come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I've not kept my Arabella safe to this day to see her whisked away from me by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy. Who are these goons? The brass blades of the Jabera, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last. And this is Briardian showing up. If the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen, or do those goggles serve some purpose other than making the wearer look utterly ridiculous? Consulting Inspector Briardian. Your reputation precedes you, and what, pray tell, would you propose? I have promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege on my word would have dire implications for the family trade. My proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and will cost you not a whit of your precious gil. Very well. Let's see if your reputation is deserved. But consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances. Such touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around? Our man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it is painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in broad light of day. The broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Even now, the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I've already narrowed the field. Arabella's betrothed, Vannes, or Vanessa? I'll go with Vannes, would be an obvious target for our thief. So too would his father, Morgant. Yolto Nolto and his wife, Sinana, the guests of honor, will give a toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Gugurimu himself. Finally, we have Lewenhard, a steward of Gugurimu's estate and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. All the key players, save for the Lapis Maiden herself, have assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless, the Phantom Thief lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. We will begin our questioning of the suspects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you would report back to me at once. Ah. There he is. Hildebrand of Manderville. I could smell the stench of idiocy and incompetence from a mile away. The pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Briardian. Forgive me for not revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yeah, to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease. Yes, I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildebrand, agent of enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Manderville man can. He does realize there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he? I don't think he cares. Good Inspector, I realize we have not seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case. Me? Assist you? Aren't you a funny man? Oh, it makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? I would speak with you, but not here. I'll be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time. Alright. So. You want to speak outside of town? Oh, there he is. You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get to more important matters. Well, before we proceed, what might I call you? Ayame, apparently. An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Now answer me this, Ayame. You were there when the Phantom Thief, in the guise of Lady Dorilda, stole off with the Treaty Blade. Was there anything about the foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? The identical appearance. We'll go with that. The obvious answer, and yet all too many, a certain self-styled gentleman comes to mind, did not recognize a clue if it hit them upside the face. Your observation is astute. A thorough inspection of the mask left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allows him to change appearances at will. A glamour prism, if you will. Clearly, our man is no ordinary thief. Magics far outside the grasp of the common folk are at his disposal. This, in itself, gives us insight into his identity and his ways. Yet, that is not what caught my eye. No, from movements and mannerism to the utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda, he was her. Such a feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal, not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise. He studies his targets closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, that not even their closest friends or family could detect that aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago, when preparations for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target. And yet, some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our phantom, Ayame. If you're the thief, whose identity would you first assume? A brass blade, I would say. Precisely. Clearly you are far less useless than the bumbling inspector whose company you keep. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please, a fearsome reputation to scare away any who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss, an ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question the brass blades in the area. Little to my surprise, I learned that there was one man who had not been seen at his favorite alehouse for 3 days past. Our thief has not made a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as a bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us of his assigned charge, like as not, his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have the time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol. Alright. Gonna track down the missing brass blade. To the south. And there's a man. Brass blade of the Gerbera. Excellent. You're one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with. Thank the gods, please. Free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive. There now. Tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and try to be brief. We just arrived at Costa del Sol, had a briefing of sorts. Master Gugarimu gave us each our orders, who we'd be looking after and the like. I had a mind to tour the area, get my bearings. Next thing I knew, I felt a thwack on the back of my head. When I came to, here I was, stripped to my skivvies. Much to the chagrin of those who have to look at you. You say you received orders from Master Gugarimu? Who was to be your charge? My memory's hazy, but... it was Morgant, father of the groom. The other was a Lalafellan gent from Limsa. Yalto Nalto. Now try your best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact? I come to think of it, yes. It was also the steward, Lewenhart. I was to review with him the schedule of events, discuss the protection of key supplies, that sort of thing. Morgant, Yalto Nalto, and Lewenhart. Thank you. For an incompetent fool, your testimony has proven astonishingly enlightening. I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes, after which I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of the gods, just make sure that imbecile doesn't cause too much trouble in my absence. No promises. Alright, we'll head back into town here. There's Hildebrand. Ellie. Inspector Bardian seems to have taken a liking to you. You should be proud, as you can see by his treatment of someone we know. The man doesn't suffer fools lightly. Alright, Hildy. There you are, friend, and not a moment too soon, for I was about to commence my investigation in earnest. Tell me, did your and Inspector Bardian's avenue of inquiry bear fruit? Yes, it did. Morgant, Yalto Nalto, and the steward Lewenhart, you say? This does not surprise me. Yes, I had considered them all exceptionally suspicious from the start. With the Lapis Maid in danger, we cannot afford a moment's delay. I, Hildebrand, shall have our thief in shackles before the inspector returns. Fear not, friend, the inspector shall be none the wiser. If he had hoped to nab the fiend for himself, he should not have simplified the task for me so. There's one of our suspects, standing suspiciously under that canopy over there. Just you wait, fiend. I shall rip the mask from your face and reveal you for the rogue that you are. Alright. Let's see what's going on. Alright. Hildebrand. Lucky father of the groom to be, or the fiend who would sully the maiden's virtue. In a matter of moments, all shall be revealed. Gugarimu. All I have done to raise Arabella to a beautiful young woman has been in anticipation of this day. I've never been more proud to call myself her father. Alright. I guess I'll call him Venice. Venice? I am Venice, heir to the chairman of the Bruguiere Consortium. And who exactly were you again? I'm sorry, I just realized I don't particularly care. Lovely. Alright, Morgant. Stand back, friend. The man we pursue is a criminal mastermind. The merest slip of the tongue could put our case, nay, our very lives, in danger. Have no fear, Miss Ellie. Ready your quill that you might record my every word as I employ the time-honored art of parley, handed down from Manderville men of ages past, to reveal our foe. I can think of few topics that would interest my readers less than your blatherings. Just catch the thief so I can have my story, would you? Don't worry, Inspector. I brought my quill and journal, too. Your adoring fans won't miss a word. Capital. This is why you're my favorite assistant, Nashu. Now behold as I ensnare our prey with a web of words leading to his inevitable demise. Let's see how this goes. Alright. Good day, Master Gugurimu, and a fine day it must be, for you most of all. Allow me to offer my most heartfelt congratulations on your betrothal to the enchanting Miss Arabella. Incorrect. What is this nonsense? Arabella's my daughter, you... Just who in the seven hells are you, anyway? Guards? Guards? Now hold your chocobos, Gugurimu. I recognize the lad. This is Hildebrand, agent of enquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Come to save the lovely lass from the clutches of the phantom thief, have ye? I reckon we owe the man our gratitude, eh, Venice? The phantom thief? Balderdash and rot, if you ask me. That said, my betrothed must be quite a beauty indeed to have such rumors about her. Perhaps she's worthy of me after all. He exudes an unusual degree of confidence for such an effete. Fashion-challenged youth. Most suspicious. He's a damn sight easier on the eyes than you. That's me, Vanessa. Ever calm in the face of danger. Truly is father's son. A worthy heir to the Bruguière consortium, and a worthy match for my daughter, I must say. Yes, I've seen many years of prosperity for our families. Or family, I should say. Which reminds me, Master Venice, Arabella asked me to convey her gratitude to you for the golden clasp you sent some months ago. It has not left her neck since the day. Oh, that little trinket? 'Twas nothing. Tell your daughter that the greatest treasures of the realm will be hers once we are wed. The time-honored Manderville art of parley? We'd be sleeping with the fishes now had Morgant not spoke on your behalf. That said, nothing about the interactions between the three struck me as particularly unnatural. Let us not rush to conclusions, Miss Ellie. A gentleman fancies a more methodical approach. Yes, everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Whoops, I was supposed to be taking this down, wasn't I? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. I sought only to earn the trust of the families before confronting Yalto Nalto and Lewenhard, who have aroused my suspicion from the start. Come, we have a thief to apprehend. Alright, let's go chat with the others. Alright, Hildy. Alto, Nalto, and Lewenhard. One of the two wears a mask, but which? With a few words, all will be revealed. Alright. Let's go. I'm not just seeing your faces around here. With the East Aldenar Trading Company, are you? Oh, yes, good sir. Very much with them. Some might even say we are the East Aldenar Trading Company. Aho, pleasure to meet you. Do tell, is the Lapis Maiden as lovely as they say? Say, Nana here here's no slouch herself, but like me, she's getting on in years. No offense intended, my dear. Oh, but where were me manners? Yalto Noto of the Bruguière Consortium. And this is my wife, Sainana. Look forward to many profitable dealings with you and yours in the moons and years to come. I dare say this wedding and the joining together of our family businesses couldn't be happening at a better time. What with all manner of fell beasts and beastmen taking aim at our wares. Just the other day, a shipment of imported foodstuff was waylaid by the Mandragoras. Nasty buggers, a lot of them. If I were 20 years younger, I'd dice them up myself and make a salad out of it. You have heard of the Mandragoras, haven't you? But of course, I once spent a year honing body and mind with the Fist of Rulgar. My fellow monks and I would chant several hundred mantra whatsits a day. And your food stores were occasionally raided by the ruthless band of rogue vegetables known as the Mandragoras? Yes? Would it kill you to read the Mithril Eye and educate yourself from time to time? A fearsome lot they are. Rumor has it they'll not rest until every fruit or vegetable harvested for consumption has been freed from captivity. Why, they struck at the larder here just days ago. Our supplies were decimated. Fear not, my lady. I was able to arrange for an emergency shipment to replace the stolen produce. It arrived safely some time ago. Settle down, Sainana. Forgive me, wife. She's always saying how meat is bad for her figure. And with that, I'd best go prepare me speech. Carry on, lads. Criminy, none of these three suspicious. None of these three were suspicious in the least. We must not give up hope, lest he of many faces have the last laugh. Where there's a will, a gentleman shall find a way. Come, Nashu. Must move quickly, or the Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. You speak so fast, Inspector. Sign of a quick mind, I'm sure. Now, where was I give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. The Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. I'm not sure that captures the Inspector's intended meaning. But this is no time for us to be standing around. Inspector Briardian will be back any moment now, and he's not the type to suffer excuses. Quite so, Miss Ellie. Fortunately, I have a plan. Let us investigate the food stumps of which Master Lewenhard spoke. If we find any contradictions in his testimony, we can consider the man a prime suspect. Inspector Briardian will be back before long. Come, Nashu. This is no time to delay. Alright, let's go inspect the foodstuffs. Alright, and it's over here. Something looks a little off here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Hildebrand, anything to say? These crates must contain the food stuff of which Master Lewenhard spoke. At a glance, they do not appear particularly suspicious, but our investigation must not be deterred. Sorry. Ellie? Some of those coconuts don't look like coconuts. Nashu, have you been doing something? Look at this. Now there's water. Now there isn't. Now there's water. You're fascinated by the waves coming in. Okay, then. Crates of assorted foodstuffs and a veritable host of luscious-looking coconuts. It appears that our man Lewenhard spoke true? Egads! Are those explosives I spy concealed amongst the coconuts? Perhaps I spoke in haste. It would appear that we have found our phantom thief after all. Oh, those are mine, Inspector. I was looking for a place to set them down, you see, and those coconuts were looking awfully lonely. Nashu, far be it from me to cast doubt on your choice of hobbies, but what in the name of the 12 would possess you to bring your creations to an investigation? Well, they were so helpful in jogging your memory that one time, and I just thought, does this mean you won't be needing this piece of driftwood either? Your enthusiasm is always admirable, Nashu, but in this event I fear it's somewhat misdirected. Now, set the driftwood down over there and concentrate on taking your notes like the astute assistant you are. I say, we are most fortunate that confounding Inspector Briardian is otherwise occupied at the moment. Were he to chance upon this scene, he would veritably explode in rage. Now let us dispose of these things before an errant ember sends us all to a fiery demise. Confounding Inspector Briardian, explode, a fiery demise. Got it. Are you sure about that? Uh-oh, don't look now, but someone has returned at the absolute worst possible time. You two were supposed to be keeping an eye on the suspects and staying out of trouble, yes? The inspector will have a fit if he sees you here. But Miss Ellie, should Inspector Briardian come upon these explosives, the consequences will be even more dire. Ayame and I will see that the inspector keeps a wide berth at this beach. You two just get out of here and be quick about it. Quick thinking, Miss Ellie. Come, Nashu. We shall return for your creations once the Inspector Briardian has been led safely from the scene. Investigation calls us, and we must heed its cry. This is not going to go as planned. Ellie? All we have to do is lure him away from these crates. That shouldn't be too difficult, right? Alright. Inspector. So, Hildebrand has managed thus far not to destroy anything. Consider me something almost resembling impressed. Indeed. But enough about Hildebrand. Ayame and I have been waiting to hear about your latest theories. We should go somewhere quiet and... An excellent idea, Miss Ellie. And yes, that spot just over there, by the crates, should suffice. There, of all places, surely we could find somewhere more scenic. I'm not here on vacation. I am here to solve a case. Besides, we cannot afford to have our conversation overheard. That junk-littered beach should afford us some welcome privacy. Yes, Inspector. Privacy, indeed. Bloody hells. Don't worry, Ayame. I'll figure out some way to lead him clear of the bombs. Alright. Briardian. There's that driftwood again. And the bombs. Is it just me, or is there a bit of a chill in the air? Perhaps we should go someplace warm. I, for one, welcome a respite from the sweltering heat. Besides, this will not take long. If you insist, Inspector. Alright. Through the questioning of a brass blade attacked by our quarry, I have identified the 3 individuals most likely to be our thief in disguise. To wit, Morgant, Yaltonalto, and Lewenhart. The 3 of us shall split up, with each of us keeping watch over... Are the 2 of you listening? Of course we are. Beg your pardon, Inspector. You look unwell, Miss Ellie. Perhaps you were right. I, too, feel a chill wind blowing in. Perhaps we should continue our conversation elsewhere. But there's no need. Wait here, and I shall build a fire. Methinks the Inspector has taken leave of his senses. The chance of locating suitable kindling in these barren shores is infinitesimal. Except there's some driftwood. Here we are. This piece of driftwood should serve perfectly. And as fortune would have it, I happen to have a flintstone on my person. Oh, she's excited. He's not. Back away slowly. There's no cause for alarm. 'Tis not blood that courses through the inspector's veins, but ice. I could not fathom a series of events that would lead such a calm and composed individual to lose his firm grip on that fiery torch. Remarkable insight, Inspector. I must record these words for posterity. Wait, it's flying. What have we here? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. This be another challenge from the fiend? Surely you jest, Inspector. It looks nothing like his usual cards, see? That one's is just the idle ravings from some madman. Perhaps so, but we must exercise due caution. Ah, there are 2 more pages. Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. It is not the Lapis Maiden alone that shall come to harm. It's more direct than his previous challenges, but there can be no doubt as to the sender. But what is the talk of another victim? The final page holds the answer, no doubt. The final page? Confounding Inspector Briardian will meet a fiery demise. Ugh. There it goes. Lucky. It's not gonna stay there. And there goes the food supplies. And there goes Hildebrand's clothes. You saw through the fiend's ruse, but how? Let's just call it reporter's intuition. Are you hurt? I'm ringing in my ears, but otherwise, no worse for the wear. You have my gratitude. Hildebrand Manderville, were you able to learn aught of the fiend who made this ignoble attempt on my life? I exhausted every effort, Inspector, yet I fear our quarry proves ever elusive. Excellent. I might have died of shock if you had. At any rate, our foe has revealed himself as no mere thief, but a madman who will resort to cold-blooded murder. We must redouble our vigilance, lest the others come to harm. Vigilance. Yes, vigilance is the order of the day. What in the name of the gods? Thal's teeth. Those vegetables cost a fortune, and they're ruined. Ruined. Agent of inquiry? More like an agent of injury and incompetence. You would replace the supplies that you destroyed before the banquet begins, or I will see the entire lot of you rot in jail. Alright, what's everybody's thoughts? Ellie? Well, that's how I survived an explosion at point-blank range, but something tells me that's one more mystery better left unsolved. Bardian? Clearly, our thief has decided that my prodigious intellect presents the greatest threat to his schemes. Perhaps he is a more clever man than I thought. Sure. Alright, Nashu? Is that a fish? I'm getting hungry. Oblivious as always. Hildy. Thanks to our quick thinking, the bombs are no more, and the inspector is none the wiser. 'Tis a shame to see good food go to waste, though. Those coconuts look positively luscious. Alright. Let's see about replacing the destroyed supplies. Leeuwenhart. What was that terrible explosion coming from the beach? Is everyone safe? Fear not, the fiend's artless attempt on my life has been thwarted. Sadly, your food supply did not escape unscathed. Master Gugurimu bids that the damaged ingredients be replaced with all speed. Good gods, this is no thief, this is a madman. As for replacing the ingredients, I fear that will prove a difficult task. Those crates contained imported vegetables of considerable rarity, you see. Vegetables that are in particularly short supply these days. Over the mandragoras at large. Even if I were to place the order immediately, it would likely take days to arrive. The mandragoras? I have heard of that fell band. Tell me, what manner of vegetables did they steal? The rarest was an import from the Far East. I do not recall the name, but it very closely resembled the Eorzean dragon pepper, save for its color, which was a deep purple. Methinks you dost worry too much, Master Leeuwenhart. Our course of action is clear. We need only storm into the den of these overgrown weeds and steal your precious purple dragon peppers right back. I would advise against that, Inspector. These are no ordinary mandragoras, but rather a bloodthirsty band of killers given succulent flesh. Even the brass blades of Gerbera proved unable to resist them. Oh, a formidable foe indeed. Were there only a brave soul in our midst, with a want for taking on fearsome enemies, with not a shred of concern for her own well-being. Oh, really? Your eyes, friend, they speak to me. They say, I, yes, I shall vanquish these rogue vegetables and deliver the purloined goods back to their rightful owner. I'm being volunteered. You are truly a godsend, adventurer. One Sundamal of the Yellow Jackets has been charged with defending the roads from the Mandragoras. If anyone would have knowledge of their current whereabouts, it would be him. Without those ingredients, Master Gugurimo is like to cook me instead. Please, friend, you're my only hope. A gentleman would never let a lady face danger alone. Let us away to Limsa together. Alright then. We head to Limsa Liminsa. There's our guy. If you've come for the Mandragoras, I fear you're half a bell too late. As were we, blast it all. To hear the poor merchant tell it, no sooner had he opened his cargo hold to check on a shipment of vegetables than an onion turned on him, screeching bloody murder. Fled his own vessel in sheer terror, he did. By the time he came to his senses, it had set sail without him. The merchant left for Aleport, hoping to recoup his losses. If you mind to go after the culprits, you might lend an ear to his sad tale. Ah, is the thrill of the chase not invigorating, friend? The ferry docked by the fisherman's bottom will carry us to Aleport. Let's be swiftly on our way. You know, or I could, like, just teleport myself there, because I can. Alright, there's our tiny trader. Hey, don't sneak up on me like that. I thought you were a feral turnip, a murderous eggplant, or something like that. Think I jest, do you? You'd be singing a different tune if a shot of tomato juice almost took out your eye, as it did mine. My eye! By the time I regained my wits, they'd already set sail with me ship and me livelihood. I'm ruined. Ruined! If I never see another bleeding onion till the end of my days, it'll be too soon. Alright. To hear most say it, the Mandragoras are a nasty lot, alright? Pain in the arse to farmers and provisioners the realm over. Well, let me tell you, friend, that ain't the least of it. Freeing their fellow fronds from our larders and tables is but the beginning. The bulbous blackguards have a far grander scheme. Revolution. Madness, you say? Take a fare of the Isles of Umbra and see with your own eyes. A veritable vegetable kingdom where eggplants and turnips rule with an iron fist. This muscle-bound fellow with a dim expression. I guess where I've seen his face somewhere before. Look at me, if it ain't the undead overlord what fancies himself a gentleman inspector. Which would make you, could it be, the adventurer what bested the thief and duelist in single combat? Are you the one who bested the duelist? Yes, I am. Oh, bugger me and call me inspector. Tell me, is it true the duelist traveled with a demon bird whose crow could split the heavens? But that's neither here nor there. Look, I don't know about you, but I ain't so keen on the notion of calling a bloody tomato your grace. And that's exactly the fate we're in for if we don't nip this revolution in the bud, and I mean that literally. As we speak, the Mandragoras are planting themselves a whole army of their own kind on the Isles of Umbra. You'd be doing the whole realm a favor if you could go there and uproot them for the harvest, comes. Many a case have I solved in my day, but I've not matched wits with sentient plant life before. It should prove quite exhilarating. The Isles of Umbra. Now I could take the ferry. I could take the ferry. But I have a flying motorcycle. So that's what I'm going to do instead. Alright, we're here. A mandragora bud of the two-leaf variety. Incomprehensible. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. Next bud. More inane gibberish. Incomprehensible gibberish is probably what I wanted to say. A different style of motorcycle. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. Reclaim the stolen foodstuffs from the Mandragora. There's Hildebrand, upended in the sand again. I think for this, we are going to switch. Machinist. Friend, my pursuit of the Mandragoras has led me beneath the surface. Yes, they must be down here. Somewhere. Mandragora Queen, Onion Prince, Eggplant Knight, Garlic Jester, and Tomato King. I should probably also get my Chocobo out. And they're gonna kind of like run around. They're all gonna, it's really strange. That one's become invulnerable. Yep, so is that one. Alright, Tomato King is down. Alright, Onion Prince is next. Down. Actually, Mandragora Queen. Down. Oops, I attacked a Plasmoid. The Mandragora is slain, and we've recovered the foodstuffs. Now we need to deliver them back to Costa del Sol. Alright, Hildebrand. Recovered, I see. It took you so long, friend. The Isles of Umbra are but a short sprint away. I trust you have brought along the goods we so bravely reclaimed. I teleported here. You return. I feared you might end up a tasty snack for a crazed head of cabbage. You got your stuff back. The stolen foodstuffs? You saved my hide today. Oh, but I must see if those purple dragon peppers are intact. Master Gugurimu is quite particular about his seasonings. Oh, can I come too? I've never seen a purple dragon pepper before. That wild vegetable case was a pleasant diversion, but it is time we return to the case. Now, there must be some clue that yet eludes us. Oh, the peppers have changed color. What's this? Peppers have possessed the same powers of disguise as our many-faced foe. A gentleman must needs investigate. They're blue. A striking shade of blue, quite far from the purple that Master Lewenhart described. Perhaps we recovered the wrong crate? Look here, Inspector. The crate is clearly marked for Costa del Sol. How curious. Did I say purple? I meant a purplish blue, or bluish purple. The two colors are really quite similar when you think about it. These peppers have a most distinctive hue. No man could reasonably mistake it for any shade of purple. You done slipped up. Unless, of course, he was wearing a very particular sort of eyewear at the time. Goggles. There he goes. Ah, the charade is up. After the man. It is as I suspected all along. The goggles have proved the key to cracking the case. With speed, Nashu. The fiend must be brought to justice. Alright. Where are we? North. There's Lewenhart. Is this the real one or the fake one? You can run, but you cannot... And here comes Hildebrand. Ahaha, if you thought you could out-sprint this Manderville man, you were sorely mistaken. For pilfering a priceless blade, threatening a maiden's virtue, and untold crimes against the law-abiding citizens of Eorzea, I, Hildebrand, agent of inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, hereby place you under arrest. Done in by a snipper. A fitting end for an ignoble thief. Let's see what lies behind the mask. Where am I? Who are you? Ah, playing the fool will avail you not. I suggest you come willingly. A gentleman is not given to violence, but should you attempt to resist, I disavow responsibility for any shattered skulls and broken bones. Wait, I remember now. I was on my way to meet with Miss Arabella when... Miss Arabella, I must find her at once. My head. It would seem that this man wears no mask. This is the true Lewenhart. I swear on my life that it is so. I was en route to the estate in Wineport when one of the brass blades on patrol approached me. We exchanged greetings, and the next instant he turned on me. I fought desperately to defend myself, even managing to drive a kitchen knife into the man's right hand. In the end, though, he proved too strong for me. Now that you mention it, the imposter was wearing gloves. I knew there was something suspicious about him. There is still time before the banquet begins. Knowing our quarry, he has doubtless already assumed a new identity. And yet, he could not have foreseen this turn of events. It is unlikely that he had the time to thoroughly research his new target. Most importantly, we know that the thief suffered a wound to his right hand. We simply need to return to Costa del Sol and examine the hands of all present. An excellent plan, Inspector. While you do so, I shall accompany Lewinhart back to the estate. It might ensure Miss Arabella's safety. It's the Mandragoras. I have found you, my little ones. Let me guess, you seethe with anger at those that took from you what was yours. Ah, here's our thief. It would appear our goals are in accord. Make for Costa del Sol and await my orders. When the time is right, revenge will be yours. Yes. Because of course, we'll have to deal with a marauding band of sentient vegetables. Par for the course. The game is afoot, inspectors. Now, what mask shall I wear to the ball? Alright, but I think that is where we're going to go ahead and end the episode for now. We'll pick this back up when we return. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.